we are going to solve one more LeetCode problem in LeetCode 75 series. The problem is reverse words in a string. So what we are going to do here, we'll have one string like consider hello world. So what you need to do, you need to reverse words in a string. So what you have to do, you have to keep world before, then you have to keep hello. This is what we are going to do. Okay, one more example. Suppose the sky is blue. Okay, you have to return blue is sky the. Okay, you have to return like this. Okay, here where you get a challenge is here. So here what I am writing here, there is a one space gap between every word in a sentence. Okay, but in the actual question, okay, see here in the hello world there are some extra spaces in the front and in the back. Some might have in the middle also. Like suppose example, the same example, the I am giving here space, double space, sky is again here double space. Okay, then again I am closing here, like there are multiple spaces, but still I need to return blue one space is one space, then sky, then the. All you need to get one space, and the end there is no space. You have to return until this only. This is the valid acceptance scenario. So here the challenge is you will have a multiple spaces in between the words, and you have multiple empty spaces in the front, or it can be in the back. Okay, this is what problem. So how we are going to solve it? Observe the problem. First I am taking normal example. The sky is blue. Okay, now observe here what we are going to do. We have a methods in string class. We have number of methods. In that we have a method called split. Okay, what this split is going to do, it is going to split based on the regular expression we will provide here. This is going to split. So now we are going to split based on the spaces. Based on the space. Okay, so now here see how we are going to do. Now observe here, if you suppose if you write a split method, if you write a split method here like this between one space, this might work for this scenario because there is a one gap. Suppose the example which I before, here there are multiple spaces. How it is going to work? So this is not going to work with the normal regular expression. You need to provide, you need to tell to the split method that if you have, there is a word and one more word, in between there are multiple spaces, but you should need to consider it as a one space and split it. How you are going to say? With the regular expression. Okay, like backslash and s plus. So it will consider the spaces, all the spaces. When you are going to split one space, that all the spaces it is going to consider and it is going to split. Okay. Now when you are going to split, what it is going to return? It is going to return a string array. It is going to return string array in which words will contain. Suppose the example one, the sky is blue. Okay, consider we are going to split. How it is going to be? This is in the array. Consider it is going to be an array. This is the first, second, third, like this. So this is in the 0th index, first index, second index, third index. So now this is in the array. Suppose we are converting sentence into words. So I am giving array name as words. Okay. How you are going to write? How you are going to reverse it? Simply just traverse from here to here. Iterate a array from back to first. Then you are going to get your word is first. So suppose how you will write? From you are coming from the last position. What is the last position in array? How you are going to get? Length minus 1. So you are traversing from I equal to length minus 1 until greater than or equal to 0, until it is the first position. Okay, I greater than or equal to 0, then you are going to reduce every time I minus minus. So this is the way you travel. So you need to take one result string which is empty string, you need to going to append result equal to result plus words is array, in that I which will get this value, plus every after word you need to give one space. Okay, so how it is going to work? First it is empty plus the blue plus space. So the now it is next iteration, what it will become? Blue, it will be having space plus again the second word is again space. So next one blue, like that it will become blue is sky the, in the end it is going to space. What is it will be like this is space, but what is the acceptance criteria? In the end it is not going to be space. So what will return? When we are returning, we are going to use string dot trim method, which will remove extra spaces in the end. Okay, this is the way you can return. Okay, now observe here, this is the basic way. Now this is the code. Now observe here, I have a string. I have a string here. This is okay. Let me maximize it. Okay, observe here. This is the input string. So what I am going to do here, I am going to split with the regular expression, which will consider in between n number of spaces, consider as in one space, and it will split. So I will get one array in which the words of a sentence is contains. I am taken one result string, which is empty string. I am iterating from the last index of an array to the first index of array by reducing every time one value. And what I am doing, I am taking this empty string and I am going to append every word to that string. Again in the back, in the end, I am going to give one space, because there is a space between word to word. Okay, in the end I am going to return. Now suppose when I am run this one, observe here, see it accepted all the cases. See, it is accepted. When I submit this to run all the test cases, observe, so it is taking 12 milliseconds. Okay, which is just beating 18% people. Why? We are using one for loop only, right? So it is big work. But here see, you are splitting. This is you are using here. It is going to take a time. And observe here, one more important point you need to observe. See, when you are suppose what you are writing here, there is a string. That string you are assigning with the string plus one more string. So string is immutable, right? Every time when you append the value, it is going to create a new string. It is going to create a new string. Okay, the old string will go. So every time it is going to create a new string. So that's a time taking process. That's what. Suppose observe the same solution I am going to write. See here what I am doing. Observe here, instead of string I use the StringBuilder. Okay, here I just use the StringBuilder append method. The same I am doing. Result, for the result I am appending the word. Then after the word I am appending the space. In the end I am returning two string. Why I am returning as a two string? Because StringBuilder, but I need to return only string object. Any class will have the toString method, so it will convert as a string, and at the end I am going to trim the value. So now suppose when I submit this value, right, this one, observe how it is going to change. Now see, it went from 18 milliseconds to something 12 to 7 milliseconds just by changing string to StringBuilder. Why? Because StringBuilder is not immutable. It is not going to create every time the new StringBuilder object. It is going to create it is just going to append. It's like, suppose see here, every time it is going to create, right? But this is not like that. The same string it is going to append. The same string it is going to attach. Suppose it is the one string, then it is attaching with the same string it is going to attach. But in the string case, it is going to create, this is the string, and again it is going to one more string, like this. It is with the string case, it is with the StringBuilder. Every time string is going to create a new object, a StringBuilder is not going. That's why it is taking very less time here. Okay, still it is not beating everyone. Why? Because here you are using inbuilt methods, everything. Okay, now how we are going to, this is the naive solution when the interviewer asks you to explain. Okay, now how we are going to approach. Okay, the best approach. Observe. Now you need to observe this question. This is the important. The same example I'll take. Okay, let me write here. The sky is blue. Okay, so I'm giving here some extra spaces. Okay, for your, okay, now observe here. This is what we have. Okay, the string ends here. Okay, let's give one. Okay, this is the string ends because we have here multiple extra spaces. Now how you are going to write? Observe. So here we are going to use two pointers method. Okay, I am going to keep one start method. I am going to use one pointer which is start point, and one more is end point. Okay, this start point will point out to the starting of a word. Starting of word. This end will point out to the end point of a word. Just remember. Okay, now observe. Now we have this string. Okay, we have this string. Now what I am going to do, I will keep one cursor here. This is the point, end point. Okay, the end point will always point out to the length of a string, the last character of a string. How you are going to do? You are going to convert this whatever the string into the char array. Okay, you are going to convert this anything into the char array. The last index is always length minus 1. So you are going to assign, first you are taking one variable, int end equal to length minus 1. You are going to assign like this. So end will point out here. So how we are going to track? While we will write one while loop. We will check while end greater than 0. When we reach to the end, when we reach to the first position, we are going to stop this loop. Okay, end greater than or equal to 0, because we need to consider this 0 also, right? So we are going to stop when we reaching the last position. Okay, now observe. We will first, what we have to do, we have to remove the extra spaces. Okay, so the first loop will take care. We will check the condition here. We will move this end. First we will move this end point. Okay, this is space, so we will move this one. Next is space. When the end point reaches the character, okay, now what we are going to do? We are going to assign this end to start. This the value which you suppose here is, suppose this we are going to append this 0, 1, 2, this is the third, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, just like that. So when it reaches the 14th index, the position number I am getting, so the end value consists of 14. So that 14 I am assigning to the start. So the now end point and the start point are same position. Okay, now I need to move the start point, not the end point. So by how I will move, we will check the condition here. We will check whether it is a character. Yes, then we are just moving the start point. Okay, start point we will move from here. Okay, next this one will check. Yes, it is a character. This one will check. Yes, it is a character. Next it will come here. So the start point will stop here because it is not a character. Okay, now observe, the start point is at the character. So what we are going to do? Okay, we are going to, this is the start point, right? This is not the starting of word. So what we are going to do? We are going to do start plus 1. Okay, start is equal to start plus 1. So it will come from 10 to, it will come to the 11. Now it is at 10 position, it will come to the 11. So this is now our start is at, then start is now, observe how it will be there. Now this is the blue. Okay, here our start point is there, here our end point is there. Here our start point is there, here our end point is there. Observe. So means our start point and end point is covering the only word, not the spaces. So here what we are going to do? We are creating one result array. Okay, we are going to create one result array. To track the position here, we are going to create the result index also. Why this result index? To need to understand how many positions we filled in the result array. To need to understand how many positions. Suppose you are filling this. Now observe. B, L, U, E. We are filling here. You need to understand next from which position you need to start, right? So that to start that position, first I will keep result index equal to 0. When you fill these 4 letters, I am going to keep result index. We are going to update 4. Okay. The result index is tracking about the how many positions is filled in the result array. Okay. This is the way you are going to find one word. When you find one word, you are going to write on for loop. What is the starting position? This is the start. Until what you need to go? Until you need to go end every character. You are just taking this character and filling this array. Okay. Then once you filling this, again the loop will come. It will check whether the end point is reaches the first position. No. Now it will come. Okay. Now observe here. Now our start point is it here. We are going to increase end point also here. Okay. We know the next position. Next. Okay. Again it is back to the main loop. The first thing is you are going to change. Okay. Here you need to understand the steps. Okay. Let me write the steps. Okay. This is the 2 pointers, how they will move. Now we are going to discuss the steps, how the loop, what are the steps we are going to understand inside the loop. Okay, now observe. Okay, first we'll write one while loop. This is the main while loop, which will check whether endpoint is reached the starting point. So why we are checking the endpoint? Because we need to stop when we reach the start point. Okay, next thing you need to check the spaces. You need to check the space. Okay, sorry. First point is need to check the spaces. While checking the spaces, we will move the end point. We'll move end point. Okay. Once we find out the character, we'll assign end to start. We are going to assign start equal to end. Okay. That means still the end position. Now you suppose the end point is moved here, word is find here. So that means end is always start, end point will stop at the end position of the word. Okay. Now you are going to assign the start. Start will move, check here, this is the word, next it is the space, so it will stop here. So always start will be at the start point of a word, end will be at the end point of a word. First what you are going to check? Spaces. When you are checking the space, you are going to move end pointer. Okay. When you are checking the characters, once the space is done, and you have to check for the character. When you check characters, you are going to move start. When the start actually find the space, that means start is ahead of 1 point because it is pointing now to the space. So we are going to increase the start plus 1. Okay. Next, now our start and end both are in it covering the words. So now we will transfer these letters from start to end as it is into our result array. How we are going to keep the result array index? By using one variable called result index. Okay, this is the way we are going to continue. So here, now suppose here these are all are spaces. Okay, all are spaces, no word. Okay, but here how we are going to write? When you are checking space also, we are going to cover this condition. Okay, this is the way we are going to use 2 pointers. One is start pointer, one is end pointer. Now we will write a code. You will get one idea. Observe here. I am going to remove the total code. Okay. Now, okay, let me reduce bit size. Okay, now observe. First, what I discuss here. First, we are going to convert the string into the character array. How you are going to do? See, I am taking one character array, just example, just char ch. Okay, how I am going to convert? I am going to use toChar array method, which is available in string class. Okay, what it is going to do? It is going to convert all the characters into array. Now I am going to take one more array, which is character array, which is holding, which will hold result new char. Okay, observe here I didn't provide the length. Okay, length of this result might be length of the original string. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to take one variable, n variable, which is pointing, which is always holding length of original string. Okay, now here sometimes the length of original string and result string will be different because the extra space is going to remove. We're going to talk about that. Okay, now I was taking one more variable, which is result index. Result index is pointing always to the result array. It is going to start with the 0. Okay, now observe, I am going to take two variables. First I am taking end outside because we need to check int end equal to n minus 1 because length minus 1. Now what I am going to write, I am going to write one while loop. This is the main while loop, which is end greater than or equal to 0. End greater than or equal to 0. Why? When this end position reaches the first starting position, we need to stop it. Okay, now here what is the first thing? We need to search for spaces. Search spaces, find word ending point. Okay, how we are going to do? Observe, while if you write alone, just you're checking ch of end whether is it equal to space. Okay, suppose you are running ch of end equal to space and you are just decreasing the value. What will happen? Observe this scenario. When it comes to here, when it comes to this position, I mean like here position, we have extra spaces here. You're going here, next it will go here again. When it go to here, when you come to array, it will come array index out of bound exception. Okay, when you reach here this point, you need to stop. There is no values this side. Because why I am saying here, because we are coming minus way, we are coming in the reverse direction. When the first position is start, you need to stop. Otherwise, you are going to get array index out of bound exception. So how are we going to start? So how we are going to stop? This is to check whether the character is space or not. And one more position we are going to check end. Whether end is greater than or equal to 0. Okay, this is to check whether it reaches the position or not. Till that it is going to check whether the spaces or not. This is the two conditions. Okay, where we are checking in this character, we will check whether the space it is space or not. Observe, I have just given two codes. There is space. You have to give one space. Like space is also a character. Okay, and when you see here, when while loop is running, okay, now you need to, when this loop is end, that means you need to reach end point of a word. When you reach end point of word, what you need to do? Reach end, assign it to start. Okay, now I'll take one variable int start equal to end. Int start equal to end. Okay, when we reach the end, what we need to do? We need to again search for starting position of a word. How you will know starting position of a word? Once you, this is the, suppose you are, I am writing here, you find out this space. Okay, you're going to search from here. This is the alphabet. When you reach another space, that means that is starting of a word. Means if you are here, this position, to that next position is the word. When the space after that, immediately it is a word. Okay, from the left side. Now observe here what I am trying to explain. Suppose you return like this. Even though there is a multiple spaces, S is there here. When you reach here, that means this is the space. Means to this before that, that is the starting of your word. Okay. Now that is the way we are going to search. Okay. Observe. Here also we are going to do the same thing. We are going to write one while loop. How we are going to start? We are going to check whether we didn't reach. We are going to whether we didn't reach the end point. So while start is greater than or equal to 0. And we need to check ch of start here, not end, because we are going to move the start, not equal to space. Okay, character not equal to space. Okay, until it is not equal to space, we are going to reduce the value, because we are reducing here. Observe, now we are coming in the reverse direction. When you are coming in the reverse direction, always you need to move one by one, means you have to go minus minus. When you are going forward direction, you need to move plus plus. Okay, so that's why I am reducing here star minus minus. Okay, now observe here. This is the point. Now here see, I am writing for loop. I am writing here for loop to copy the values. Int I equal to start. Int I equal to start. From where I need to start? This is not the start position. I need to increase one value. That's why I am giving start plus 1. Until where I need to go? Until less than or equal to end position, because end pointer is pointing to that word ending position. We are moving forward, because when you are writing into the result array, suppose you find out this, you are moving in this direction. That's why I am giving plus plus. Okay, now here what I am doing, observe result. I am going to keep the index, result index. This is the index we defined here, the result index. Okay, I am going to increment every time the value is increased. Suppose in the first position it is filled, means the next position does go right. I am increasing here directly, and I am assigning here ch of I. I am copying the initial array to the result array. Okay, now again what is going to do? Again I am going to assign end point, means now observe here, this is the point. Now this example 2 words only I am taking, the sky. Okay, you reach this one, this is here. Now before copying, this is end position, this is the start position. The start position is moving to here. Okay, because this is the start position, we took a variable here I. Start position is here, and we are increasing I plus plus, it will reach end. Now again we need to come from here, right? So I am assigning this start back to the end. I am assigning this start back to the end. How I am assigning? Here already I know this is a space is there. Okay, I just increase start plus 1 to get the character, but before that I already know there is a space. So when I am assigning, I will assign end equal to start minus 1. Okay, so here end equal to start minus 1. But here before, you remember, but after every word we are going to keep a space. Okay, here how we are going to handle it? Observe. So we are going to check this result array. We are going to check this result array. If result array something is occupied, okay, then we are going to keep a space. Okay, but at exactly which position we need to keep? Suppose observe here, every time this loop is going to execute. Okay, this loop is going to execute. This is the for loop is going to execute. This is the for loop which is transferring the characters into the result array, where we need to append the empty string. So before you copying, you need to check here one thing. How you are going to check whether your array is empty or not? When is empty, you don't need to append the empty space, but when it is not empty, you need to append the empty space. Okay, observe how I am checking result. I am taking the result index. Okay, this result, why we declared outside, you understood now? Because to check if the result index is still at 0 position, that means there is no values inside the result. Suppose if result is greater than 0, that means some in the result array, when we are doing, see the result array, result index we are moving right. So when we copy some values, it is not going to be in the same position. So what we are going to do here, I will just copy this line. Okay, every word end we are going to replace one space character. Okay, every time you are when you are doing this, okay, you are replacing one value there. Okay, now observe here. Now see, I am increasing the when you keep one value in the result index, don't forget to increase, because you already filled this position of the result index is empty space. So you need to point out the next position. Okay. So until this runs, our string will be completed. Now I am going to return. So return new string, because we need to return a string. This is accepting string, not a result. Our result is stored in the form of char array. Okay, return new string. Okay, return new string of char. Okay, what we have, result array. I am just giving result array. Observe. Okay, result array dot trim. Let's see what will happen. Okay, let me run this one. Okay, start minus. Okay, sorry, I need to append the value. Start minus 1 value. Let me run again. Sometimes when we are typing, it is fine. Now observe, whatever the solution we return. One minute, let me remove that. Okay. Now observe, whatever the we run the solution, it is accepted in the test cases. Okay, what I written here, it is a string constructor which will accept the character array and it convert to the string. Why I added the trim method here? Because suppose this result array I am creating based on the length of the character array. Okay, let me take with example and I'll explain. Suppose here, this is the I am going to reverse this sky. Okay, this is the one. Okay, here 2 extra spaces are there, but what I'm 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Initially I don't know what are the spaces, so I'm going to create with the 10 character array like this one. 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, like this. This is the array I'm going to create 10 spaces. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to just keep sky space here, again T H E. Okay, now space here, but this will be empty. By default it will be empty. Okay, so when I'm converting this, this empty things will come as a array. So this extra space I'm removing. Okay, by using this trim method. Now observe, when I submit this, before also 7 minutes. See, now it went to 2 milliseconds, which with 99.73%. Okay, there is some people who before that completed in 0 milliseconds. How? There is another method, but if in the same thing you need to beat this 100%, like I have one trick. Okay, observe here. We are going to write one static block. Okay, we are going to write one static block, and here I will write one for loop. Okay, which will start from int I equal to 0. It will go until I less than or equal to 500 times it will execute. Okay, I plus plus. Now observe. Here what I am going to do, I am going to call this reverse method. Okay, with an empty string. There is nothing here to do with empty string. Okay, let me submit the same solution. Observe, now it went to 1 millisecond. Okay, let me increase here to 600 time. Okay, I'll increase here 1000. See, if you increase, what happening here, the same solution, why it is going to like kind of like it beat 1 millisecond. Before it was 2 milliseconds. Just I written one static block. Okay, here I am executing this code. What is happening here? Why it is working fast? The same code I just written one static block, which I am calling this method 2000 times or 500 times. Initially it was the 500 times, but still it is in the performance it was improved. Before the runtime was see, now just 500 only it went to the I beat the 100% people. How it has happened? Guys, if you are aware of it, just comment about it. It is the just in time compilation. Okay, we have the JIT, it is making it. Okay, if you want to understand, okay, I'll post one video on that, you can watch it. Okay, there is a one more way we can make this problem by using the recursion. Okay, we'll discuss it in another video. Thank you for watching. If you have any doubts or if you need any further information, please comment it out. I'll read and I'll get back to you. Thank you everyone.